Hello, and welcome to this series on Project Muni. This first video will introduce the project. We will have more videos going into further details, but for now, let's get started. Who are these videos for? Through these videos, we hope to better illustrate the purpose and goal of Project Muni for writers, UX and UI designers, and for coders. For our writers, writing on a topic that is unprecedented is very difficult if you do not know what this would look like in practice. It is our hope that these videos will help form imagery for you to see how people's lives can be changed with the implementation of decentralized technologies for UX and UI designers. This video series will be the first step in building out a visual illustration to demo what is possible with Project Muni. In addition to this, as the website launches illustrations in video and images of the UX, it will hopefully grab the necessary attention of volunteers and donors. It is possible that your images and illustrations will be able to be used for grants as well. But we'll have to see where things are at when everything is fully launched. But that's really the goal of these videos, is to fully launch what Logos Earth Foundation is attempting to do. For you developers out there, these videos will give you a good overview of what's going to be needed to be coded in order to bring Project Muni to life. I hope that you'll be able to get a general idea of estimates on what a minimum viable product can be for the iterations that will be spelled out. And also, we will be addressing this in more detail in a future video. Okay, so we talked about who's going to be viewing this video and what we're hoping they'll get out of it. Let's talk a little bit about our motivation for launching Project Muni in the first place. Many organizations suffer from having insufficient access to the resources they need. This can range from gymnasiums to community centers, churches and mosques. Even for-profit companies suffer because of a system that does not empower them to succeed in today's world. And today's world often forces many companies to be so focused on pushing the proper paperwork through that they're not able to focus their time and energy on their bottom line and accomplishing their mission. This system of administrative work and bureaucracy can be automated, recreating administration for the needs of today. Project Muni will also bring trust, integrity, and security into the system beyond that of any existing system. It is our hope that through this, we will be able to completely rid impotence from governance. This is not an ideal. This is within reach, and we can see this through in just a few short years. This new world is going to have one thing the old world didn't, and that is trust. With that said, let's move into the project that Logos Earth Foundation has underway that will bring this into reality. Project Muni is the code name that we have for this project. And the reason why we chose codename Muni is because Muni is a shortened version of a municipal. The definition of a municipality is a general-purpose administrative subdivision. This term is often used in reference to governing bodies such as cities and towns, but it can range in its scope of authority from the very general to the very specific. In essence, if you have an organization, you have a municipal that needs to be managed. And right now, there aren't good resources for municipals to have good management. Our solution is Project Muni, which has 3 key features: the Power Browser, the Municipal Engine, and Joules. These 3 sections will be developed agilely so that we can rapidly prototype and update our software for people to use and provide meaningful feedback. However, before I get too ahead of myself, These sections of Project Muni will need to be released sequentially as one builds off of the development of the other. The first part, being Power Browser, is a web and blockchain browser that empowers the use of SAS and BAS in a workstation environment with an intuitive modular user experience. The backend will look much like a web browser, with code taken from open source projects and likely forked from Chromium or Firefox. This will allow it to be coded in a number of common languages and allow for apps, plugins, and other features to be seamlessly integrated into it. Power Browser will empower the user with all of the services and features that we use on a daily basis for work and home life all together in one place. This will include a library of apps and Dapps for users to customize their experience. It will also serve to help the user organize the services that they use on a regular basis. So who would want to use Power Browser? Well, anyone who feels like their desktop is not well organized and gets frustrated with having to click into so many windows and log into so many sites in order to get their daily tasks accomplished. A major feature of Power Browser is tab management, as the primary browsers used today eat up a lot of memory, especially as you start to accumulate tabs. And that wraps up our section on the Power Browser. The next section that needs to be developed in Project Muni is the Municipal Engine. Now, you're probably wondering what a Municipal Engine is, and in brief, a Municipal Engine will provide a way to code smart contracts with greater levels of permission than what smart contracts are capable of today. We refer to this type of smart contract as an advanced smart contract. And within the Municipal Engine, another feature of coding advanced smart contracts is that, well, it won't require code. There will be a way of drawing up advanced smart contracts where no knowledge of coding is necessary. So I do want to touch on the back end of how the Municipal Engine is going to be created for a moment here. There are 5 generations of programming language, and for our purposes here, we're not talking about generation types as it pertains to advancement or age, but rather the type of coding and how it works in its logic. So to oversimplify, think of it as a spectrum that ranges from binary as a 1st gen to human speech as the 5th gen in programming. In order to code the Municipal Engine, we will need to utilize the features of a number of generations of coding. Probably a heavy amount of 3rd generation coding is going to be required, and ideally, on the front end, the user end, they will be able to use 5th gen programming in order to draw up their advanced smart contracts. In other words, users will be able to draw up smart contracts using everyday language. All of this will be deployed utilizing a framework that is built off of APIs talking to one another. This makes the implementation of a smart contract easier and faster, as the framework is built into the smart contract itself, as opposed to building a framework, then deploying that framework, then building the smart contract, and then deploying the smart contract. Efficiency and cost of running are exponentially better in this system, and the time to code and deploy a contract is easy and at a high pace of speed to a deliverable. The added plus to all of this is people with relatively low knowledge will be able to design and deploy smart contracts with ease. Some of you might be feeling a little bit skeptical about the prospect of being able to code something using your everyday language, like what was imagined in Star Trek and other sci-fi. However, this is right in front of us. It is already available, just not on a wide scale. As this technology continues to develop, AI is going to be in every aspect of our life, even more so than it already is. And the question is, would you trust such a world on any other system than a decentralized one running on advanced smart contracts? I don't think people are going to trust having everything about them stored in a centralized location where an organization has complete understanding of you, even more so than you have of yourself. This is why we are working out a system that can keep this knowledge and information in your control. The big picture of what the Municipal Engine is painting may seem like a monumentous task. However, we know that it works and we know it is the future. We just need to do a heavy amount of scientific research in order to perfect this technology. We are the first to propose, let alone build, a comprehensive product and protocol for the decentralized space to run smart contracts that is made to be used by the everyday person. The third and final piece of Project Muni is going to be Joules. Joules is a blockchain framework protocol that networks APIs, creating a backwards compatibility and ability to access advanced smart contracts from any cryptocurrency. The underlying database structure of Joules is what will run celestial computing, which is the protocol that we are building out. Think of celestial computing as the next logical development from cloud computing. At first you had your own PC, then you moved to other servers, cloud computing, and now there is celestial computing. Now, this underlying database structure will act as a manager of sorts. It will securely hold the tasks of what needs to be done and who is allowed to do them. This type of blockchain has been tested and proven, though not deployed on any kind of widespread scale, and will require a level of honing in order to perfect it. In a nutshell, Joules is a different type of blockchain which authenticates serverless systems and other blockchains. It will act as a nexus, if you will. In and of itself, it's not going to be a cryptocurrency that has value, but it will store other cryptocurrencies on it to be able to pay for the work that it does, essentially tokenizing everything. And as a part of its authentication role, it will be able to release other cryptocurrencies' activation codes as it has been given permission through advanced smart contracts to do so. Now, Joules, unlike other blockchains, is going to be a self-pruning blockchain and will not grow infinitely bigger. It will be infinitely scalable and can always increase its speed. Because of its self-pruning capability, it will be able to be utilized on something like a cell phone at only a few gigabytes. Inside of each person's account will be something called a municipal coffer. And a municipal coffer is something that holds the credentials of the person's account, verifying their identity, their credibility, and will be capable of releasing each step of an advanced smart contract. Municipal coffers will be able to allow accounts to be visible to certain others on the blockchain, so that a zero trust confirmation transaction can take place. For example, let's say that 17-year-old Billy comes knocking on my door and wants to mow my lawn. Well, looking at his account and his account being able to see my account, we can see what funds are there and be able to do the transaction before the mining writes it into the blockchain. Because we can see each other's accounts, there is trust that when the blockchain goes to mine it, those funds will be transferred as agreed upon. Municipal coffers will not only be able to hold one's credentials and the wallets that one has in various cryptocurrencies, but it will also be capable of managing and holding FDIC bank accounts. More on how this will be done later. But a major point of why blockchain is not able to be legal with credit cards and with FDIC is because there needs to be many permissions. One such permission is that there needs to be able to be a 30-minute hold put on any transaction in the event that it needs to be reversed. By being able to lock codes into different municipal coffers, a 30-minute hold that can be reversed is now possible on a blockchain. Essentially, the reason why blockchain has not been implemented everywhere is its lack of advanced permissions, and this will not be a problem for Joules. Another impediment of decentralized technology being widely adopted has been the difficulty of obtaining accounts, maintaining accounts, and being able to move funds around from one account to another. The wonderful thing about Joules and municipal coffers within Joules is that it will be able to link these blockchains together without having to buy and sell crypto and moving funds from one account to another. Imagine how much easier this would make things for developers and users to finally be able to utilize the decentralized space at a much larger level and avoiding the inconveniences that have thus far plagued the decentralized space. There would be uniformity for the developers not needing to learn something different for every blockchain out there, and it would provide one user interface for users to be able to access all that decentralization has to offer. There are projects that seek to link cryptocurrencies together. However, it's not on the scale and at the level of usability of what Joules offers, and has thus far proven to be slow, expensive, or not even truly decentralized, which poses a major risk to security. Something on the magnitude of Project Muni is bound to come up against legal obstacles. And one of the wonderful things about not being the first to break ground on such ideas is that legal ground has been established in this area so that we can move forward fully legal. We have the advantage of seeing where other projects and companies had hangups, what their problems were, and how it was resolved in order for them to remain legal, or why they got shut down in the worst case scenario. A famous example of this in history is the electric light bulb. Did you know that Thomas Edison didn't actually invent the electric light bulb? Rather, Thomas Edison combined a number of technologies and perfected them in order to create the first mass-produced electric light bulb. And this is the advantage of inventing later rather than sooner. Thomas Edison had the advantage of all these different technologies that were already proven, already tested and known, and all he did was take them and bring them together to create something superior. And this is what we are doing with Project Muni. We're not really inventing anything new, but what we are doing is we are taking bits and pieces of technology that's already been tested, already been proven, already been deployed, and bringing them all together in one coherent user interface for people to utilize and make their lives easier. One of the things that will be available in Project Muni is a library of apps and Dapps displayed much like Steam or the Google Play Store, where people will have access to available services in the market unlike anything ever seen before in the decentralized space to date. Dapps will finally have a home and get the publicity they need to grow, flourish, and ultimately see widespread adoption of decentralized technology. Project Muni will serve as a platform for a completely new type of app to be developed and deployed. One that can utilize multiple frameworks at once deploy on the blockchain as well as the web within Power Browser. This opens the door for a completely new style of programs and services, one that will utilize the best technology available for the task at hand, creating whole new levels of efficiency in cost, energy, time, and so much more. Wrapping things up, Project Muni is the stepping stone that will allow for technology as it is today to make the transition to the next level in software, services, and data management. Muni is going to give its users all the features that are out there on the decentralized web, on top of many other beneficial tools. Project Muni and Logos Earth Foundation have big dreams and hope for a brighter, better tomorrow. By developing and making available the best that technology has to offer, we can make our ideals a reality, and we invite you to join us on this grand adventure.